Yeah, my mic was mute. Yeah. Okay, so I was saying that today we were gonna. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. My microphone's off. So I was saying that today we're going to go back to our stream, to our Diablo fan art stream. So as you guys can see on the monitor right there, there's the Lilith statue that I was working on the first stream ever that I did. On the first stream ever, I actually just did it as a test, so there was no talking, there was no interaction, and today it's going to be a little different. Today I'm planning on being a little bit more interactive. If you guys have any questions, just put them up on the chat and I'll try to answer them. Of course, there are some times that I can be a little too focused on the anatomy and stuff like that. So, but today is going to be exciting because it's going to set the bar for future streams to top this one. So, first of all, I would like to start off by showing you the drawing, the original drawing. Let me just tweak the camera right here. Let me just tweak the ISO. Whoa, why is the ISO showing up on your screen? Let me see. All right, so can you guys see? Yeah, so this was the first. Let me just change the soundtrack as well. This is not fitting at all. All right, so much better. So this is actually the original drawing for Lilith that I did. I did a fan art drawing of Lilith to start with the concept to get me on a mood to do like the facial features, more around the facial features than anything else. You see that? All right, so the rest is not very detailed. The drawing is not very detailed as well. Doesn't really matter. I usually do stuff like this before I begin a concept. Even when we're talking about like a class and I'm doing a demo, I do like a very small sketch beforehand, like this size, you know, just to get me on the rolling mood about what I'm going to do. That doesn't really happen normally. There gets the proportions a little skewed because I don't have like a focused vision. But yeah, today we're gonna go to the Sculpt again. The first stream that I did was about this, and I'm aiming at finishing at least the tertiary forms on the body, you know, like the major muscle masses. Maybe go to the ends again because I don't feel like this is working, and then I'm hoping that we could actually finish today the Dynameshed version of our model, so we could go to the final sort of subdivided model. All right, so well, let me just check the lighting. Yeah, lighting just turned off all of a sudden. Yeah, this is gonna be a little harder than I thought with this tablet. All right, so, and the other thing I was thinking about is I have a few anatomy books right here with me in order for me to give you guys a little sort of perception of how things work around ZBrush and around doing like figure sculpting. I have a few books that I would advise for any of you guys that are willing to go into character sculpting and doing anatomy or figure sculpting or whatnot. And the number one book that I'm actually wanting to show you, and just get this ISO back on. Yeah, for me to show the drawings. All right, so the first one is this book, Artistic Anatomy by Dr. Paul Richet, which he was a French doctor in the 19th century that taught anatomy to art students in Paris. And this book is like invaluable because it has all the major proportions. It's anatomically correct. Books giveaway. No, this is like mine. This is my precious. So I'm not giving it away for sure. Maybe in the future, I don't know. Maybe that's a good idea to have a book giveaway or something. All right, so this is very, very technical. If you guys know who Scott Eaton is the one of my big inspirations actually for ZBrush sculpting, and he's the one that always keeps talking about this book. But like this book is his reference for proportions and whatnot. But it's a very technical book, as you guys can see. It's filled with illustrations, but at the same time has a lot of text. And the thing is that most people just don't read the text. I haven't read it like till the end, to be honest. But everything that I've read here explaining certain parts of intersections between muscles and whatnot, it's the most detailed I could find. So this is like my major reference for overall proportion, which is something, not necessarily something that I'm going to do today, unless maybe in the hand. But the other one, at least two of them that have like 5 books right here. But the other one is called Strength Training Anatomy. And Strength Training Anatomy, yeah, only Scott Eaton has read it. Yeah, that's true. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe there are a lot of geeks out there that just read. I have a friend actually who's in medical school, like veterinary medical school, and he said that he has read like Richet's work, you know, like from start to finish. Which is crazy, you know, but then again is in medical school. So all right, so but this one is a little different. This is more aimed towards like bodybuilders and people that are working on let me just see if you guys can see this a little better, because of the illustrations, they're just so amazing. All right, so yeah, this book right here, Strength Training Anatomy, has a lot of moves that you guys might do at the gym, and the illustrations are just freaking unbelievable, as you guys can see. Like, and it has like the flayed figures and maybe a little some explanations on certain parts of the skeleton and intersection of the muscles and whatnot. And this is freaking amazing. It's one of my big references, because they're not like static poses, you know, like they're people trying to pull and push things, and with the muscles in tension or relaxed and whatnot. So it's a very good reference. I'm gonna keep referencing this. If it's for understanding what the muscles really do. Yeah, it is. This is like the one that I'm gonna keep referencing, especially when we pose the character, basically. So which is gonna be like the next stage after what we're going to do today, and maybe in the next stream, because I'm not that fast at sculpting. So, you know, if I was, I wouldn't be, you know, where I am. So, you know, but yeah, so we're going to go for secondary forms today, like trying to finish up the secondary forms and of the anatomy. And then, only then, will we actually do the remesh, you know, like Z remesher. There's something a little going on wrong with my tablet. Sorry, guys. Let me just check this. All right, so it's working. Okay. I just bought like a USB dock, and for some reason one of the ports is not working correctly. Don't know why. Yeah, it's not working correctly. Doesn't really matter, actually. I could just work out with the trackpad. Okay. General anatomy. Did I say that? Sorry. I mean, like, what we're gonna do actually today is going over the tertiary forms of the anatomy on the Lilith model. But what do you mean, like, did I say general anatomy? In what context? Yeah, it's the USB switch. Oh, yeah. Miguel Azevedo. Actually, it's Ricardo Azevedo. Do you think for starting digital sculpting animals or mythological stuff is important to know general anatomy? Oh, you mean like have an overall understanding of anatomy, right? Well, I would say yeah. Definitely, but it's not something that you have to like study first and then get into it, you know. It's like it's something that you can learn while doing digital sculpture. So it's not necessarily just a, you know, some mumbo jumbo pseudo secret dark art science that you need to to understand first in order to get into the realm, the magical realm of digital sculpture, digital sculpture. So, what is the hardest to sculpt in human or animal body? What do you mean, like the artist part, like the head or whatnot? I would say depends. Yeah, everything's hard. Yeah, for sure. Like everything's hard because especially if it's a human anatomy figure, like because humans we're more used to watching ourselves, seeing how we move, how we interact with the world. So, uh, is the butcher my name for the memes? Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, so but the thing is, what do I like the most? What do you mean, like doing digital sculpture? Like, I'm not sure what you mean. Do you mean like which part? Oh yeah, everything. Yeah, in terms of sculpting, everything actually. So yeah, I just love sculpting. Like I love drawing. First of all, like drawing is like the thing that I really really enjoy the most. And for me, it's super easy to mix like two of my greatest passions, which is drawing in 3D, into one when I'm doing sculpture. Because sculpture, you're sort of thinking in 3D, like you're thinking of form, but you're also drawing the form in 3D. So there's some certain principles of drawing that are implied there. Doesn't really mean that you need to know how to draw in order to do like characters and whatnot, but it's a big help, It's a big, big help. So yeah, what I was saying. So I have a lot more books here. I'll reference them as we go. Depends if I need them or not. I might do today. Maybe I'm being a little too ambitious, so I might rework some of the anatomy on the arm. Maybe try to do a little retouching on the legs here. Maybe this is not that important because I'm gonna pose the legs. So for now, I just want a base sort of detail layer on the Dynamesh, and then in order to project to our subdivided mesh, like when we do a Z-remesher. So yeah, we're gonna rework sort of this topology, which is Dynameshed, so it's super weird. Has all those crazy triangles right there. Not triangles, but they're like, yeah, they're triangles. It has a lot of triangles there. This is super crazy in terms of topology. So it's good for doing like a very organic sort of workflow in terms of sculpture, but it's not that great for posing and deforming, because when we pose, we're going to deform the mesh in order to put it in the pose that we want. And then we're going to use like the layer system in order to put like various poses here. I'm thinking about doing like 2 or 3 poses depending on the situation. But first of all, everything has to be like in terms of secondary forms almost finished, at least, because I really enjoy working in Dynamesh while I'm doing like just the secondary forms, because the tertiary forms, which is like detail and whatnot, and the ZBrush is crashing. Well, this is starting off great. But in terms of tertiary forms, it's okay, at least for me, to work with subdivisions because you have a clean topology. It's just a matter of working some wrinkles, some fibers, like I already have like hinted at right here, but they're not necessarily sort of like projected. And as you can see in the arm, we're only using Dynamesh resolution 64, which is super low, like super, super low. It's the overall poly count is around 2.6 million right now, which is also low in terms of, like for a figure, it's super low. And we still don't have the wings as well. I might do like the wings separately, like one wing separately with the tissue underneath. Gonna study a little bit some of the reference that I have here. So let me just go. So yeah, I'm gonna study the reference. I have more reference now, actually, because I took some screenshots of some cosplay, the statue from Blizzard. I feel the pain. What do you mean by pain? You mean like sculpting, drawing? So yeah, the armor, this set of armor is just a sort of a template that I did just to get to see how the silhouette was working with the armor put up, and it's not really working well because you can't really see a difference majorly as the silhouette with the armor or without the armor. So this armor is not working. I'm gonna rework this afterwards, like after we do the like the major anatomy and stuff. Also, there's a Twitch pic going on, like a poll. If you guys can see like the icon, the extension on the corner of the screen, you guys should vote like if you want me to do the final sort of model with or without clothes, basically. And what I mean by that, it's not do you want me to make like erotic art or do you want me to make sort of, you know, clean kid-friendly art. It's not a matter of being kid-friendly because nothing is kid-friendly in Diablo, right? But I'm talking about getting I'm talking about getting the. Thank you for the follow, J Silva. 071. Thank you. I'm talking about like doing the final sort of sculpt because I'm thinking about printing it. Doing the final sculpt in with her dress that you see like on the statue, like the official statue from Blizzard, for example, like this one. Let me just put this right here. Whoa. Yeah, this is not working. Yeah, like this sort of dress that she has, or just go for the more sort of evil looking Lilith from the trailer that has like the body that is almost flayed, you know, with the dress. All right, so just you guys have to vote on the Twitch pick, and I'm gonna take that into consideration. And at the end of the sculpting process, I'm still gonna sculpt like the body and whatnot. You guys can't see the references. Oh yeah, because it's on the part of the screen. What? Can you see it now? Oh, thank you for the host, J Silva. Thank you. So yeah, in the trailer she's like flayed, you know, like her body is sort of, it's not even skin, it's like the flesh, so you could see like the muscles and whatnot. And I'm thinking of having that sculpted in and then maybe do like the dress right here, and maybe a little different, like my interpretation of the dress. I'm not gonna do like this sort of monk witch sort of dress. I was thinking something a little bit more sexy than that, you know, because she's, after all, she's like the queen of the succubi. More like this, you know, like with the corpet and then the skirt, maybe, you know, more of a sort of a succubus demon other than like a witch, you know, maybe something like this, Oh, I'm sorry. Let me just get the lighting here. All right. Because the mouse is not working because of the switch. Yeah, this switch is a piece of junk, basically. All right. All right. Okay. So now it's sort of working. Ooh, Oh yeah. So the vote is about getting uh your guys' opinion about like if I should do the sculpture like with Lilith naked, like in the trailer, you know, when she's not even naked, she's like flayed, sort of flayed, like you can see the skin. Um, or do her with a dress, you know, like her witch's dress, which is something around more like this that you guys are seeing here on the reference, right? So something like that. See? Or something like this, or maybe something. I'm thinking about not doing exactly as the reference, just doing my own interpretation of the dress, because this is like too witch type sort of dress, and I don't really like it. But I mean, it's great. It's Blizzard, but you know, but not for my sculpt. Maybe something like this cosplayer right here. Yeah, this is a cosplay, which is crazy. Jesus. Yeah, this dress, like the skirt and whatnot. But still, I'm still gonna go for doing like the filleted sort of figure, like the final naked Lilith, and then I would do like the cloth on top of that and whatnot. Sachis and Evelyn up, thank you for the follow. Thank you. Thank you guys. One more. One more follow, man. And we're officially an affiliate. Yeah, there's the right corner. Yeah, just press that button that says Twitch Picks, and then there's a vote going on, and I can actually see you guys. I mean, if my mouse was actually working because of the Switch, not the console, just the Switch, this USB switch that I got, which is not actually not that great. It's great for like the lights and stuff, but like the mouse and the tablet just don't work, and it's 3.0. So yeah, I'm kind of affiliate. Right now I'm kind of affiliate. I just need one more follow. One more follow, guys. Let's go. I know you guys got this. Give me one more follow. Alright, so instead of being like a follow whore, I'm just gonna go through and start sculpting. Alright, so last time I left off in the hands, and the hands are not convincing me because I feel like I need to sculpt them like straight and then pose them. And it was more of a concept. I did this with a cube and a couple of Z-sphere rigs right here for the fingers. And it still works as a sort of a concept sculpt. And ZBrush is threatening me. Okay, yeah. It was just a threat. You can't find the vote? Right, let me check. Let me check. Alright, so if you guys go to the stream, there's a node on the side, you know, like two nodes on the side. There's like two little nodes on the side of the screen, side of the stream. If you go there with your mouse, there's latest followers and Twitch pics. You click Twitch pics, and then sort of a pop-up appears, and you have to vote, basically, for either naked Lilith or demonic dress Lilith. You just have to vote, and then I'll check. We have 4 votes with the dress right now. Yeah, Twitch pics. Where can I make a donation? You can't yet. Oh, wait. There's Evelyn, Team, and Azeredo that followed. Thank you, guys. We're officially affiliate. After this stream, we'll become an affiliate, right? So you guys can't actually see the subscribe button yet, but after this and with the stream hours and whatnot, I'm definitely sure that Twitch is going to give me an affiliate program, and then you might be able to donate. And I'm thinking about creating a Discord channel where you guys can share your work and share your thoughts and whatnot and do self-promotion. And also a few of the courses from my future Patreon will be available there, so you guys can watch them. Thank you, guys. 5 follows right now. Thank you. All right, so let's get into it. First of all, I'd like to put the reference here for her hands. Right, just about there. We need the sub right now. Sub Nation. Okay. Well, okay. Let me just check this. Why is this not working? Where's the hand? All right, so here it is. Jesus Christ, man. Maybe I have something else here. Oh, okay, I have Symmetry on. Jesus, my bad. Alright, so delete hidden. I'm just gonna keep this as a reference, you know, for future posing and whatnot. As you can see, I have like the Z-spheres right there, which is, it's kind of easy to get through, like to get this hand on like a straight pose. I might just, you know, tweak the Z-spheres a little and then just sort of adaptive skin and re-dynamesh this whole thing and just, you know, delete the fingers. Alright, so let me hide these Z-spheres. This Z-sphere doesn't really, it's not doing anything. Right, so we have like that block out of the leg, which shouldn't be here, should be like here. Then we have like the armor, which is also unnecessary right now. Those are 2 separate subtools, like the whole body with the legs and the arms are a little different. Whoa. Alright, so I have that selected. Fingers still here. The arms, base foot. Where are the wings? Alright, so let me just switch off the wings. There we go. So without the wings, without anything else, this is 3 million, I think. No, actually, I think it's the overall poly. No, yeah, it's 3 million, 3.8 million. Okay, so let me just get one of these. You guys are memeing through with emojis. Alright, so where's that finger? Maybe I just might start with the I'm not really sure if this works like the 3 fingers, because originally Lilith has 4 fingers overall, but in the trailer she has 5. Might be our human form, because our demon form has like 4 fingers. Naked with meat cape. Meat? What do you mean meat cape? Like what? What do you mean with meat cape? You mean like that thing in the trailer, like when she descended down until Like, and she's looking down to the necro summoner. Vaping not family friendly. Actually, it is, you know, and you know, compared to cigarettes. So, but yeah. On the end of the trailer, she has got a meat sort of. Yeah, it's a blood cape. Yeah, I could do, but I'm not really sure because those are her wings. Actually, those are her wings forming, and I'm thinking about doing the wings. And if I do like that cape overall, I think the silhouette might be too busy, because I want her to read as Lilith in any pose, like in the silhouette right there. You can see. I wanted to read as Lilith. If I just switch on like the subtools, even though they're still very wireframe, you can actually see the silhouette, like the wing shape and the horns and whatnot, and later the armor, the shoulder pads, even from behind. If you switch on perspective, it's still Lilith. But if I put like that cape, it's just gonna cover up this whole part of the silhouette, you know. And I'm thinking more of an iconic sort of sculpt, other than, you know, like a cinematic sort of sculpt, because I'm actually thinking about printing this, like, you know, big. Just gonna send it to print or get a printer, actually. I don't know. Alright, so now I messed up the selection of the subtools, so I'm gonna deselect the wings again and get this to rotate like so. Get this to rotate, and then I'm gonna get this the right way. And this yeah, see, that is too big. Like the fingers are just too long, because I was thinking about the 4-finger thing, and it made sense. She had like this long fingers with the nails, like not really nails but almost claws, you know. So it made sense, but now maybe it's not making that much sense. Maybe I have reference here, so let me just check. I'm not gonna do exactly as I see on the reference, but see, it's still a little elongated. I don't know, maybe, you know, it's sort of human, but it's sort of like demon at the same time. So let me just get the draw size a little tinier. Jesus. Is this not? This is not rotating well. Well, let me just go to the move. Just move this. I'm gonna, first of all, let me just delete. Let me duplicate this and delete. Sort of like hide the fingers. Ugh. Hide the fingers right here. And delete hidden. Close holes. Right. So now I have a better idea how the fingers are gonna work. I might just go and isolate this. Didn't know you wanted a printing. Yeah, I'm not really sure yet. I don't really know, because this was supposed to be just fan art, but it would be nice to have like a Lilith statue, since like the original official Lilith statue is out of stock. So, because I really like Lilith as a character, as you can see, you know, pretty obvious. But where are the fingers? All right, so here's 1 finger, 2 fingers, 3 fingers. Nope. This one's still here. Yeah, there it is. But where's the other? Oh wow, this is out of place. Okay. All right, so it's way too elongated. I don't know. Maybe I just might work on one of them and then just rework that till death and then just maybe just go and put this a little closer, closer, closer. I'm gonna sculpt this anyway, so, but the overall sort of pose, that's what I'm looking for right now. Yeah, maybe I'll have to move this. Sort of like so. I might do the 4 fingers, just forget about like the 3 finger Lilith. Why did you choose Lilith for this project? Favorite character from Diablo? Well, one of them, yeah. I was just so hyped about the trailer that I just wanted to do like, I wanted to do like a female sculpt anyway, to, you know, to improve my female anatomy, whatnot. But, and then I just chose Lilith. That was it, actually. I actually have like a Diablo sculpt, a quick sculpt done as well. Not done, you know, still a lot of work to be done, but we just delete also like this finger right here. Delete hidden, close holes, and get this. Maybe this needs to be a little smaller. No, this one needs to move. Alright, maybe the palm itself should be a little elongated. So I might just go here and like sort of mask this. Mask lasso. Just go around. I'm gonna delete that anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Whoa. Right, maybe just go for something along the lines of this. This. Whoa. still dynameshed, so doesn't really matter if the topology is all wonky. Well, you're right. Okay, so there's a base sort of for the fingers. Let me just check with the rest, because that's important. Check with the rest of the... Whoa. Mess things up here. Another hand will tilt a little bit in order to be not so straight. Yeah, but it's looking a little better. More something that I would want in order to pose afterwards with, you know, with some Z-spheres and whatnot. Posing is actually something that I never done, actually. I never posed the character in ZBrush. Only times I posed some characters were, you know, bring into ZBrush, do the detail sculpt, and then bring back into Maya, retopo, UVs, texture, and then do a rig, like a traditional Maya rig, with bones and weights. ZBrush is a little different. It's more intuitive, but it's not for animation, clearly. It's just in order for you to pose the character. So there are no weight painting here. You can't paint any weights in order to influence the mesh. You just put more Z-spheres on top of what you want to deform, which for posing works fine. Okay, let me just go and just delete this finger as well. All right. And then just go for some rotations here. Let me just rotate a little bit to the front and move. Move this here, move this here. Too big. Hands looking too big. Check the proportions. But I'm not doing a human, that's the thing. Because I want it to be like a elongated hand. But at the same time, not big, you know, just elongated. So it's a little too big. Maybe not. Maybe not, yeah. I put the hands on the face to see the proportions, like a face palm. Yeah. Andrea is saying that it's a bummer that you can't edit the comments. Thing is that it's not a comment section, it's actually a chat, which is different. You know, if you're chatting, you can't, you know, you can't unsay what you said, right? The reference is too human. Yeah, it's true. Like in the trailer, they made their too human, especially for summoning, because if a demon in Diablo is summoned, normally they come in their demon form, and then they slowly sort of transform into their human form. So yeah, she's too human, but maybe to be a little more relatable. I don't know, it was a decision. They know what they're doing. So yeah, but let me just do some adaptive skin here. Let me check how this would go. Whoa. What the heck? Okay. All right. Yeah, maybe this is a little bit weird. Maybe the finger is just too long. Yeah, the finger is too long. this is too short of a finger. This takes a while, but it's necessary in order to get like the correct sort of relationship between everything. Every time ZBrush autosaves, I get a stroke. See what I mean? Let me see. Let's pray it didn't crash. Yep, it crashed. Let me wait. Comments, chat, all the same for my tech ignorant self. Okay. The tense moments. Yeah, I think this is gone. Every time ZBrush autosaves, I just get a stroke because I know there's a possibility that it might crash, especially with a size, you know, a file this size. Now that's the ZBrush I know. Okay. Yeah. I just go ahead and close this. Reopen it. Doesn't really matter. I was just blocking out the hand. We got 3 votes for Naked Lilith. So technically it's almost tied. Please guys, don't tie. Last time there was a tie. It was just crazy. Alright, so it did not quick save. It did quick save right here something. I don't know. Maybe let's check. It's loading all the undo steps for every subtool, which takes a while. I have posted attached to the side of my screen and it says Control S. Oh yeah. Yeah. Man, can't even change the vote. Why? Did you regret voting for the dress? So now you want to see her naked. Shame on you. Just so I don't forget to save, because I do. Yeah, I think everyone forgets to save. Once you get into the workflow, you just get into the zone and you forget to save. That is basically it. So it's loading. Alright. Yep, did not save. Let me check if my project is still there. Let's check. Right, so let me check the votes again. 3-4. Demon Dress Lilith is winning. Yep, 3 votes for Naked Lilith, 4 votes for the Demon Dress. Still loading the undo history. Hope it didn't corrupt the file. Because it might have corrupted the file. Yeah, I think it corrupted the file. If it did, there's the autosave, so I don't care. Save all the time. Yeah, the quick tip of the day. Yeah. I want her with clothes now because it's harder. Yeah, the quick tip of the day. So you mean like the quick tip is the clothes being harder, or? Let me just reopen this again. But maybe, yeah, it corrupted the file. Loading project data. Maybe not. Yeah, it's working. It's loading. I don't think so. What do you mean? What do you mean with I don't think so? A lot of subtools here. The more subtools you have, and the more undo steps you have, oh yeah. Alright, so we have our Lilith before our changes to the fingers. Doesn't really matter. Get the symmetry off. Get one of the fingers here. Get the other finger. Where's the other finger? Yeah, the finger is not... Okay, here it is. So, I don't think there's a problem with me using like Diablo 2 soundtrack, because I read Blizzard's policy on using their content, including music, for streaming, and they say that as long as you don't have like a paywall for people to enjoy that content, they don't really care. So, which is cool, because there is no paywall for you guys to watch me stream. So it would be a different story if I had like sub-only streams with Diablo's soundtrack. That would be a problem, I think. What do you guys think? Like, should I keep the 3 fingers or just go for, you know, like these 3 fingers, or just get a fourth finger right there? Four. 3 fingers for me. I might... I should have done a poll on that. Not the dress. Just the finger thing. So it's 3, 4. Let's do a sort of a old-fashioned poll. So there's one of you guys. Ricardo says 4. Nemesis says 3. Ricardo, because she has 4, not 5. Okay, so I'm talking about the fingers, not the thumb. Forget the thumb. I mean like these 3. Right, so it's 4 or 5. It's either 4 or 5. Like 5 like a human, or 4 like her in the lore of Diablo. Alright, now I'm just confused. You're saying 3? You mean like 2 fingers here and 1 thumb? Like the lore. Okay, so like 4 fingers, basically. 4, a thumb and 3 fingers. Okay, so we have anyone else with an opinion on that? So we untie this. 5 fingers or 4 fingers? Like the trailer or like the original lore? If you can make only 4 or 3 fingers believable, sure. So that's a sort of a neutral answer. I need a concrete answer, like 5 or 4 fingers. Andre George 3D, please put a vote and say if you want 4 or 5 fingers on this. So, yeah, but Nemesis says, yeah, thumb and 3 fingers, so 4 fingers as well, right? So 4 fingers, 2 votes, 4 fingers. All right, let's just get the 4 fingers here. All right, so this goes a little bit in there. Maybe this is too wide, too far apart. Let me just go here and get the whole thing. I'm a slow typer. It's okay. It's still too long. The fingers are too long. Just a little bit in. And this one as well. Yeah, maybe something like that. Let's try it out, shall we? Let's save. So, you know, the claws. Oh well, the claws I'm gonna do like separately, like the nails, which are not nails, are claws. Gonna do them as a separate subtool, and then, you know, do the same thing I did for everything else, or I'm planning to do, which is like I'm gonna merge these subtools and redynamesh it so I could sculpt this in. Alright, so the first thing I'm gonna do is put like the pivot there on the bottom, and then I'm gonna hide this and get only the fingers there, and then I'm gonna rotate it. Maybe rotate it a little like that. And go, whoops. Well, it's not doing the same thing to the other subtools. Yeah, I have to do the adaptive skin first, so let's do that. Adaptive skin. So this one goes first, make adaptive skin. That's second, make adaptive skin. Did I do it? Not sure. Make adaptive skin. Now on the subtool, select the hand and go insert and go for that, insert that, insert that. And now I can hide the subtools, the Z-spheres. I have three meshes. But now I'm gonna need to hide this. forgot. It doesn't really matter. I'm gonna delete that thumb anyway, so. Alright. Whoops. Still forgot something. Bro, so this is like a basic hand with, you know, long fingers, but still like the palm should be a little more stretched. And this sometimes this just goes bananas. All right. Let me get this on, and I'm gonna, whoops, eyeball it. Yep, something like that. I could do that while sculpting though. But yeah, this still looks a little weird. Let me just check with everything else in. Might not look that weird. Sorry, that was Diablo 3, which is not as great, you know, the soundtrack. Diablo 2 is more, it's darker, it's greedier, so. Let me just put the Z-spheres someplace else, like there. And I'm just gonna work with the mesh. Oh well, no, this one I still need. Yeah, I still need that one. And I might tweak it right now. Rotate that. Something like that. Can always like make them longer while I sculpt, so it's okay. Right. Let's make adaptive skin. There it goes. And now I'm gonna delete that finger. Oh, what the heck? going nuts. Right, so just got 100 messages today on chat. That's a first. Great. Great work, guys. Let me just go in and a little bit here. All right. So this is just an experiment as well. So I might, if it's not working, I can just go back to my original hand. So, or just remake the hand as a whole. Right. So now where is that's the sphere that's turned on. We have this. This is the palm. Here it is. There we go. All right, let me just go in and do not that one. Do a merge down. Whoa. Yeah, it's an undoable operation. Doesn't really matter. I could sculpt it in. Now I could just go in and do some build up here. Just to see where the fingers connect. Just put this right here. Do a move tool. Just move these together. Could do an inflate with the brush as well. Trying to think about the silhouette as well. Something like that. Right, so now if I redynamesh this, they're tied together. Even though it's a little clunky still, it's something I could work on using like clay buildup and just go in and do like the in-between of the fingers. You know, that main brain, can't really remember the name. Redynamesh it. Maybe this needs a little more resolution, just so it doesn't get that effect, that weird effect. Whoops. Let's put this around 40. Just see this goes into the top. Just so I get a sense of how the bones and the tendons are working out. Okay, so this is not working out. I just need to go here and move this right there. Just gonna do a clay maybe just to fill in these little things here. Maybe here as well. Maybe just go in and do a sketch of the perspective. Like, I know this is the bottom part, this is the bottom part, and this is the bottom part of the finger. And the wings are annoying me because they're always getting in front of the camera, so yeah, much better. Right, so now it's just a matter of just sketching in loosely what I think is gonna happen here. So she's gonna have like a very, very, very pronounced sort of bones, because she's sort of skinny that way. Not skinny, but you know what I mean. Maybe this is just too much resolution right now. Maybe something around there. Maybe. Oh no. Let's pray it doesn't crash. Alright, nice. Nice. Right, so this needs a little bit more fat right there. This as well. Just filling in those gaps. You can use like the clay buildup or the clay. Doesn't really matter. Any clay does the job. Or you can even use standard. Doesn't really matter because Dynamesh just reworks the topology and the geometry. So it makes you sort of feel like you're working in clay, which is awesome. Just smooth this out for now. Yes, this is too high res. Yeah, for now I might just keep this low res, super low res. Just to get like the bone structure. Maybe this goes in a little further to the front. Same thing here. Right, so I'm just thinning down the phalanges themselves, so I can get those bumps. Not adding the bumps, I'm actually just subtracting the phalange volume. Just so I can get like a bigger sense of how this is working. This is actually a little thicker here. There's a bone right there. This side it's not working so well. This is way, way, way to the back. Or maybe this is to the front. I could just... this work better? Maybe not. Just trying to figure out how the bones here work. Might move this back just a little. Maybe move this. Oh, yeah. This is getting in the way. Alright. Normally what I would do, like I did the other fingers, I just sculpt them without merging first a little bit, and then I merge them together. So here, for example, I might just rework like the bone structure that goes on to here. Sort of, you know, bumps here with the metacarpals, and just work with that. Just thinking about this mass here. Then there's like that connection right there. This is a little... Right, so there's a joint right there. Let me check. There's also this book that I forgot to tell you guys. Like, there's this book called The Atlas of the Human Anatomy for the Artist. That's by Stephen Rogers Peck, and the drawings are just unbelievable, man. Just check those out. And check this out. The illustrations are crazy, crazy good. And also, there's a few sort of rendered drawings of like poses, which is crazy. It's very good. Mouth. There's a part about the bones. All right, so you can see like the bones rendered, which is great, right? So I'm looking for the hand bones. 3D Autist, thank you for the follow. The name? Alright, yeah, I can. Sure. Alright, so it's Atlas of Human Anatomy by Stephen Rogers Peck. Can you see that? I'm looking for the hand anatomy. Yeah, here it is. So it's 1, 2, 3 bones right there. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's the same thing, basically. So this is not looking good. There's something a little off here. Yeah, there's more to add to that volume right there. Oh, there's something off with the topology. Oh, okay, there's topology underneath, so might just smooth out this little part right there and just sculpt in maybe just a little bit of geometry so we don't get like that little thing right there, and maybe get the bump and the transition. Let's just change the materials. The materials are not the best for this kind of work. Maybe they are. I just work with matcap. Oh, forgot to dynamesh it. Jesus. Right, so there's a stretching right there, so the finger starts right there. There's a bony landmark right here, and there's a bony landmark right there, and there's one right there. Maybe this, I think something's wrong with this in terms of proportions. I might want the fingers a little longer, but like the palm's not working right. Let me just merge this, so it doesn't really matter. If it doesn't work, I'll just delete the fingers and make them again. So where's that thumb? Right there. Merge down. Right? Redynamesh it. I think the finger, I want to move this. Just move this like Andre said, so move it here, maybe twist it a little, like a face palm, right? It's way too big, yeah. He's doing a face palm. Alright, so let's check without perspective. Okay, so it's too big. Maybe do it a little smaller. Then reposition. And then I'll just have to re-sculpt the connection between the arm and the hand. Yeah, it's a little better. So the fingers are just too thin. Let me just group this because it's getting on my nerves as well. Go through with the move brush, just get the overall proportions in place. Whoa. Back face masking. Yeah, whatever. Not what I wanted, but just paint a mask right there. it's so much easier for the ref to move with the canvas. Helped me a lot, especially on the hands, is the scans. I usually measure from chin. Alright, so, but what do you mean, like the ref moving with the canvas? What do you mean by that? Like using spotlight or something? What the? Oh. Oh, importing a scan. Okay. I used to have like a base mesh here for the feet, for example, but I never really used it. I just, like for the feet, I just did with a cube and then just sculpted in with clay. Didn't really use references. And I only have like this reference right here for posing, you know, like when I pose, I'm gonna have one feet like this and the other just lifted like it's here. But yeah, I could import a scan with a subtool. Let me just... It's too thin. This thumb should be like thicker. So let me just go in and do something like that. So this is a muscle coming in from there. It's actually one of the two muscles you have in your hand. There's only two muscles in the hand. The rest is just fat pads and tendons and ligaments and whatnot. So just this muscle and this muscle right here, which I haven't put in yet, but I might just sketch in this block so I know it's there. These are the only two muscles of the hand. Let's go in with a move. Inflate. Inflate it a little. Maybe inflate a little bit right there. Inflate right there. Whoops. Then I'll resculpt that. Then I'm gonna go in. Bones are the most important thing to be working right. Just use the standard. change the focal shift a little so it gets a little harsher. Maybe here some of those hint of fingernails, or where the fingernails or claws are gonna be, so just do some standard sculpting right there. Yeah, this is gonna have to move. This is a profile, the hand's not working. I mean, in silhouette, like right there, right? Would you get like scans from Sketchfab or something? Or where'd you get them? Where'd you get the scans? Did you get it from a website or whatnot? Whoops. Right there. Redynamesh this and get perspective working. Move a few volumes right here. the in between of the fingers. Just some mass right there. As you can see, this is like super low poly because I'm not even sure if this is working. I'm just guessing right now. So this bump might be right there instead of where is it? Yeah, for sure. This bump is gonna be here instead of there. This is like the second bump, and then there's a third. Ah, auto saving. Just get that other bump right there. Maybe the thumb is a little too... Let's delete. Might need to gather some more reference for this because this is not working. Whoops. Right, so the fingers are more to the side. Like the bone itself goes through here. Alright. It's working a little better. There's a bump on the side as well, like here. That's part of that bone that connects the thumb to the metacarpals, or to the wrist bone, right there. So this is a little different. So right, so in terms of relationship between the forms, like this one is sort of working right now. Like, I mean the thumb, and I might do like make it a little thinner on the tip. something like that. And I don't want to go any higher than this resolution right now because nothing on the rest of the mesh is higher than this resolution. So I just use a standard here, standard brush. And then use the clay build-up too. Control S. Yeah, you're right. Let me save this as, let's go for Lilith 3, like the third version. I don't want to corrupt that one. All right, so might take a break right now, maybe like a 10-minute break. Then we'll be back for at least an hour of more sculpting. And I might just go in and just block out this on the base pose, and then just go over the rest of the parts of the anatomy that need a little tweaking. Maybe I'm gonna go in on the leg thing that I told you guys about, and the side and back thing right there. Maybe just a little tweak. And it depends on sort of what you guys voted, like, because if I know that I'm gonna pose it like completely naked, which is not gonna happen, in the sense it's gonna happen like a flayed sort of figure, then I'm gonna go and sculpt in a lot of detail later on. But if I'm not, or I'm doing both, then, for example, right now as is, this part, this type of detail, which is not a lot, is actually fine for what it is, right? And then I'm gonna maybe just merge these subtools together, like the arm and the body, in order to get that thing right there working, that connection between the scapula and, you know, like the Terrace Major and whatnot, infraspinatus working there, and that will be it. So let's take a short break, like 10 minutes, and then we'll be back. Okay, stay tuned. Alright guys, so we're back. Sorry for that break. I had to go to the bathroom. So, yeah, so I was thinking about this, and this hand is not as I envisioned it. Maybe the proportions of the palm and the fingers are a little off. And I might need to look at some reference in between, and then I might need to sort of shift the fingers and block them out like I did the feet, you know, like with a cube and actual, you know, geometric shapes. So for now I'm gonna sort of forget this, and I'm gonna work on the arm and the torso right now. Hey, here we go. So the arm as well is super low poly right now. Even the torso is kind of low poly for the amount of detail that it requires. So I might just look at this and see where this is on the subtool palette and just put it underneath the body and merge these two together. I'm gonna hide the armor. Where's the armor? Oh, here it is. Right. So this is all melded together. For some reason this isn't. Oh yeah, I know what's happening. Yeah, I have like a duplicate head here. This is the one I want. Right, so now I dynamesh it, and then I have everything as one mesh. It's like a welding machine, just weld the pieces together. So this is the chromium process right there. And here maybe I'll look into another material, maybe not this one. Geometry is a little low because of the added pieces. A little better. This is not supposed to be there. Yeah, the arm is off in a sense. Shouldn't have merged them so soon. I might rework this. Auto groups. much better. Had it masked. So yeah, this is a whole lot better. Redynamesh it. Whoa. Let me just check this. Let me do a mirror and weld here, just so I could. Yeah, it doesn't. The hand doesn't concern me right now, so just gonna shift this a little. And with symmetry on. Alright. Yeah, the hand's just floating there. Doesn't really matter though. So this little stretching right here, sometimes there are happy accents like this. This could be like the platform of the acromion process. Whoa. Just go and put it right there. Right, now I just need to weld these together a little bit. Right, so this here is kind of weird. Get that trapezius there working. Right, so this here needs to be a little bumpier. Just a little bit right there. Because of the scapula. Just to get that little thing right there. So this is like this muscle right here. It's called the Terrace Major. And it's super neglected sometimes here. Just like the serratus anterior, like this one that goes with the teeth. It's not just the teeth. This whole volume here that most people think it's like part of the back, part of like the latissimus dorsi, which is this muscle right here that goes around there and then does this. you know, like the wings, you know, as people from the gym call it. What is the most difficult process in digital sculpting? It's the non-sculpting part. You know, like the drawing and the anatomy and the proportions. Those aren't things that you practice. It's not a, yeah, they are, but it's not a sculpture thing, you know. It's a, well, it's a drawing thing actually. So it's just a matter of, most of the things that are hard in drawing or modeling or whatnot, in drawing in 3D, sculpting and 3D modeling and whatnot, are not necessarily specifically like a modeling sort of issue, you know, like they're a drawing issue. They're like, most of the difficult things in digital sculpture are problems with the understanding of anatomy and the understanding of form. I'm not saying that I'm not a pro in anatomy and human figure, but you know, like if you don't really know that stuff, it's probably a good time to start, because the figures are not gonna get they're not gonna be believable otherwise. You just have to understand, like, I know that there's a bump here, there's like this volume there, because I know this is like the Brachioradialis that comes from the arm. Brachio means like arm, and goes into the radius, like the bone here, that's the wrist bone, like this part of the wrist bone right here. This is the radius, that it's called radius because it turns, it makes a radius. So I know that this muscle doesn't mean that you have to know all like the names and stuff, but you have to understand like the mechanics of it. I know that this goes from here, the arm, underneath like the biceps and the brachialis, and goes in to the radius like on the front. And the most volume of this muscle is going to be around here, because that's where the head of the muscle is. So understanding that helps me a lot, but it's not, you know, as I told you before, it's not a prerequisite in order for you to start doing sculpture. It's like you can do it anyway, and you can learn these things while you sculpt, so it doesn't really matter if you already know them. Again, it's not some sort of like black magic that you have to be a sorcerer of before you get into like the mystical and magical realm of 3D, you know. It's just a matter of understanding how the tools work, and then a matter of practicing the part that's not related to tools. Like, it's more important that you're practicing anatomy other than just practicing where the buttons are. Like, anyone can learn where the buttons are. Anatomy and figure sculpture and whatnot takes years of practice, you know, to become good, not to become a master. Like, to become a master, it takes a lifetime, basically. Like, you hear most pros in the industry, and most of them just say they still feel like they're nothing, even though they're like legends, you know. I heard like guys from the Trojan Horse was a unicorn like event, they were like demons in ZBrush, and most of them said that they thought they were bad actually. So you can see my point, right? Still trying to think like how these things go together here. This is like a tricky part. This is probably one of the trickiest parts in the whole body. It's the shoulder. And the shoulder, because it deforms in so many ways, is gonna be a pain in the ass to actually deform, to pose the character. So I'm trying to summon sort of my anatomy understanding of the figure, and also the drawing side. Like I've done, I don't know, thousands of drawings from life, you know. So maybe I can summon sort of what I remember that a figure looks like, or that contour looks like, and try to imitate from memory, sort of, because this is a memory exercise. I started off like this sculpture in the beginning as a way to train like sculpting from memory. That was the thing. And then it just turned into doing a fan art sculpt of Lilith. I just saw like the expression that she was having, and I thought, well, she looks badass. She looks like some sort of like demon sexy lady, you know? So I just thought, yeah, what's the most evil sort of sexualized, overpowering character in the world? It's basically Lilith, you know? She's like the queen of the demons of lust, queen of succubi, right? So I thought, yeah, let me just, why not just make a Lilith sculpt out of this? And I started doing the horns and whatnot. I started with the bust, like the face. You can see like the detail, the amount of detail in the face, still not there, but there's a lot more sculpting that went into, well, the body is bigger, so there's a lot more things to do in the body, but you can understand what I'm saying. Like the body has like super low res compared to the face. You can barely see like the quads here. You just see like, it seems like it's painted on. But if you switch to the body, you can actually see the quads because the resolution is not the same. This is 448, this one is like 96, and it's a much bigger object, so it means that there's even less sort of density to the geometry. But since it's harder in a sense that there's a lot more details and intricate forms and folds and whatnot that go into it, then it's very, very easy for people to get carried away and start doing super high poly sculpts from the start. I just don't work like that. I know people that do, and they do work like well with that workflow, but I don't. I just need to work like overall to specific, like I do in drawing, like most people do in drawing, like most draftsmen and illustrator work from the overall to the specific details, you know. You can see like I'm barely touching the surface because I'm just trying to figure out if the silhouette is working. I'm looking at the silhouette like, this is not working well. So there's something here that's wrong. Maybe here, for example, maybe this bump needs to be a little higher, like so. Like so. Like so. Right, so I know like the deltoid has a delta shape, that's why it's called a deltoid. And the delta shape seems a little off, but it's not as off as, for example, the hand, or this part has low res, so it's very hard to get like those folds and intricate details with this kind of resolution, you can see. But it's possible to get a hint of that fold, and that's what I'm aiming for. Like here I'm aiming to get to sort of to a place where I know that this is the latissimus dorsi going over the serratus anterior, you know. Then like the ribs coming in, serratus like wrapping around like the ribs, serratus anterior going around the ribs. And then I hinted, for example, at texture, and you might say, well, that's detail and you shouldn't be putting up detail, right, in this stage. Yeah, but it's important detail because it's telling me like the oblique is going over sort of the rib cage. That's what happens. It's called oblique because it's a muscle that goes in the diagonal in an oblique angle. So if you look from the front, like the abdominis rectus, which is the abdominal muscles, go up to down, down, up, but the oblique goes like to the side. It tends to wrap around the rib cage, so that's a hint. It's not necessarily detail. If I lose this, once I start doing like my Z-remesh and stuff like that, it's no problem, basically, because I never intended that to be the final detail. Let me just check something here on my anatomy reference. Alright. You can see that, like that bump right there. That's not happening here. And that is a problem with the arm, because the form of the arm needs to be evident, especially in someone that's sort of on the skinny side. It needs to be very, very, very explicit, like where the bicep is and where the deltoid starts and where it ends, basically. So there's like this head right here. I'm trying not to make her like too muscled, like this reference right here, because like, come on, like these serratus anterior, they look like bubbles, right? It's the second stage of the block-in. What do you mean, like second stage of the block-in? Of the sculpt? So this needs a little more volume there. Do the anatomy. What do you mean do the anatomy? You have to be more clear. What do you mean do the anatomy? Like draw the anatomy on top? Like go like this with the damn standard. This is the pectoralis. Pectoralis major that goes in like this. This is a head, this is another head, this is another head, and then it folds there. It folds right there. Second stage of walk-in is doing the anatomy. No, 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 no. Not doing the anatomy. Never do that. You know, like when you're thinking about doing the anatomy, then you're not going general to specific. That's the problem. I never do that. I just go like I'm thinking about form, not necessarily anatomy. I'm using anatomy that I know to get the correct forms, but that doesn't mean that I'm doing the anatomy. Like I'm always thinking of anatomy from start to finish. That doesn't mean that there's a stage where I'm just blobbing stuff and then the other stage I do the anatomy. That's the wrong way of thinking, because I see a lot of people like starting out when they're doing figure sculpture or figure drawing or whatnot. They start out with something very symbolic and then they start to draw the muscles on top. That's the problem, because you're trying not to have symbolism here. Like, you know, like those children drawings that children do, those are purely symbolic because they're not trying to make anything, not anything realistic. And most people tend to be frustrated with drawing because they try to make something that looks like something, but their sort of drawing skill is still at the kid stage. So it's still a symbolic type of drawing. Like an eye is an Egyptian eye, something like this. Whoa. Something like this. Most people's eyes are like this, like they just draw like that. And the eye is actually not like that. There's like different types of planes. And then there's the iris. Then there's like the lid. Then the folds on top, like, and you could say, okay, so this, whoops, this looks more like an eye. A little more like that instead of, what? a ball and then something like that. And now it would be fun if I couldn't, you know, undo all that. So yeah, no, there's no the only stages there are in sculpture special is like the primary forms, secondary forms, and tertiary forms. And those are like, primary forms are like the big block-in stage, like where the arm is, like the length of the arm, the width of the arm, the overall like cube, you know. And then there's the secondary forms, which is normally the stage in ZBrush that takes the longest, at least for me. That's the stage that I take the most time, because if that's not right, then everything else is gonna fall apart. There are no amount of details that are gonna, you know, hide the errors on the tertiary form stage, the secondary form stage. Then there's the tertiary form, and tertiary is like wrinkles and skin pores and stuff like that. Those are tertiary forms. Like secondary forms are this, you know, this head is in its secondary form stage. The body is still not there, not by a long shot. Actually, this stream was actually very, very useful, because it made me realize that I'm not as close to finishing as I thought. Might work this on the side besides streaming, and then next time I'll stream this sculpt, I might have something extra made, you know. Like for example, I'm trying to make the form of the arm. I know that this high point right there, from this 2D perspective, I know that high point is the tricep, but what causes the tricep to behave like that, you know? So that's the point. That's why you need anatomy, in a sense. You need to understand like where the silhouette goes, and if you're looking at the silhouette, why does this point is higher than this point? Because there's like this fascia that comes from the elbow, like the ulna, that attaches to like this bump and this bump, which are like the heads of the tricep, basically. It's like there are three heads. That's why it's called a tricep. But yeah, I could just go in and start going in for more detail here. I'm just doing like very lightly, going over the tablet. I'm not even, almost not touching it, except when I make marks like that. Right, so this is a little weird. This is not gonna be seen actually, not even if she's naked, because there's gonna be like the armor plates there. Either way, it's good to have it. Let me just check. Yeah, this is weird. I'm not using symmetry, which is a mistake. So if I'm working on this side, I'll work on this side, and then I'll just do mirror and weld. Yeah. Much better. Let's switch perspective on. It's becoming too evident, like the anatomy. I don't want it to be like that. If it's becoming too evident, it means that you're thinking too much on anatomy. Because, especially on a female form, it's not that evident, the curves and whatnot, unless she's like this girl right here, you know, like this is crazy, right? She's like a flayed figure right there. But yeah, let me work on this. This has to be sort of round and folds into that, you know. But this arm is still too, I don't know, weird. I know what's going on. This needs to be thinner. See what I'm doing right here? I'm sort of drawing based on what I'm seeing. I'm drawing from the side, like if there's a contour right there. And it works. Now the forearms is being a little too bumpy. Yeah, the arm's a little too. Let me change the materials. Sometimes this helps. Maybe like a blend or something. Maybe I could change like the lighting. Like so. This is a standard brush sometimes, just to get that lowered intensity on this. Right. What kind of drawing tablet do you use? Okay, so I use the XP Pen Artist Pro 13 by 8. It's like the second smallest. You know, it's not the smallest one, it's the second one. It's the same size as my laptop's screen, sort of. It's like 15, I think. 15 by 8, 15.8. It's actually a little smaller. My laptop is 17 inches, so... but yeah, I use that one. Works perfectly fine. Like, if you have the money, get a Wacom, you know, a Cintiq. But if you don't, this works perfectly fine. As you can see, I'm not having any tablet related issues, except for that little thing with the, you know, with the USB. But that's not because of the tablet. It's actually because of the port. So I'm trying to think about. So there's a lot of work to be done here, especially around the hips. It's a little weird, but she's kind of weird in the hip department, like in the waist actually, not the hips. The hips should be a little wider, maybe. I don't know. It's not, you know, imperative that you change the overall anatomy of the figure just because of something's not realistic in this sense, because it's, you know, it's a fan art sculpt, so it's not supposed to be super realistic. What I might do, like in later streams, is actually do live sculpt with from reference from pictures, like classical sculpture in ZBrush. You know. What do you mean? Tell me said well. Okay, bye. Oh yeah, by Weon. Well, I had a Weon tablet. A Weon drawing tablet is actually good. It's not as bad as most people make it seem, but I don't buy it because, well, I prefer XP Pen. I saw reviews and they were all great. I saw some reviews of Weon that I didn't like. I had no experience with any of those. I just bought the XP Pen and I guess I'm happy with it. So yeah, you can buy it whatever. It's just doesn't really matter actually. And I only started using like a display tablet like a couple of months ago. You know, like I haven't even got the the film to protect the screen yet. So yeah, you could work with no display. It's okay. Like I worked with no display for years, years and years and years. Not necessarily in the ZBrush, um, maybe in the last few years, but I did work without a display on Photoshop, for example, to texture and whatnot, to do some texturing. Right, so just need to fold this a little. There's a little bump right here, the rectus spinalis coming up. So there's two actually. Most people don't know that. There's one that's called the rectus spinalis longus. Then there's the rectus spinalis brevis, which is around here, and there's a volume right there. And most people don't, when they're drawing, like they think there's nothing there. It's just rib cage, but it isn't. There's a volume right there. And then it sort of blends with the top part of the rectus spinalis longus. So, but it's there. I know it's there, and if you know it's there, you take that into account when you're sculpting the form, and you're not necessarily thinking about anatomy, not necessarily drawing anatomy, but thinking about it. That's more like it. Mine has no display, but it is hard for me. It's not natural. I was trying to change to display one, but it is a little expensive. You mean like, what do you mean it's not natural? Like the display tablet is not natural? I feel like it's the other way around. I feel like the display tablet is supernatural to me. Even though I got used to the non-display tablet. I got used to it pretty fast actually, but I still feel like this is a whole different game. Oh, yours. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's a matter of just getting used to it. So it's like you could just go with it, just power through and just get used to it. You could get used to it fairly quickly. But yeah, I understand what you're saying, like the display tablet. Now that I have a display tablet, I feel like I can't sculpt without a display anymore, It's like going from a mouse to a tablet in a sense. Well, not the same thing, but you know what I mean. Right, so this is a little too bumpy for my taste. Maybe this needs something more round around here. I feel like I know what's the issue there. Yeah, this bump right here should be lower. Like so. Yeah, something like that. Lilith 3. Then at the end I might just look at one and look at the other and see where I went wrong. Sometimes, you know, just go wrong with stuff. Should have sculpted the arm a little wider, like open. It's okay. Maybe this gluteus medius with some more volume, maybe that's it. And the gluteus maximus as well. Like more volume on the bottom here. Maybe this volume is not working. It's not like the top should be here and this like a donut shape. And it's not happening. So yeah, I might work on that later. Also, I'm gonna do, I already told you that in the last stream, but this is sort of fitting. I'm gonna go and do a long play of Diablo 2 once it's when it comes out. Just pre-ordered my Diablo collection so I could stream it for you guys. Just go in and just add in detail from the trapezius. So the trapezius goes in like that, and then it sort of goes in like so. This material is not working anymore. Change it. Change it. Maybe just go to like silhouette. Now the deltoid seems a little too bally. Alright, sometimes I just go with a standard brush and just do some smoothing, some working around. Yeah, I might work on this a little more later on. Oh, there's the ball of the humerus right there. That's supposed to be the ball of the humerus. Right, something like that. If this changes, so does the silhouette. We're gonna use like move infinite deep, which is something I just found out works pretty well because it moves like everything on a line from the canvas. So I might just go in and do something like that just to work on the perspective. Right. So the shoulder has its major forms right there. Maybe there's a little tweaking to be done still around here. Looks kind of weird still. You know, just go in and do like the head of the deltoid. This material is not the best. Right, so B, move, infinite deep. Something like that. It's becoming too flimsy now. B, move topological. This up away. Yeah, there's still a lot of things to be done before we remesh it, but I was hoping I could remesh this and then just tweak, like, because there's major proportions and major sort of oh yeah, remember Control S. Yeah, you're right, but it did save. It's doing some auto saving, so it's okay. But there's some major issues, like with the overall proportions in the arm, especially like in the arm, and then maybe a few things here and there in the neck and the back, and it's about ready to be remeshed. So then I'm gonna remesh it with the hands and with the feet, and then I'm gonna pose it. So in order for me to pose it, it's actually like, I don't know, like 20-30 minutes, because you just do a rig, a Z-sphere rig on the bottom, like underneath the mesh, and then you create sort of a transpose mesh, and you pose it, and then you add it to a layer. So you have like 2 or 3 layers, and you have like 2 or 3 layers, and you can alternate between like different poses and whatnot. And then, because most of these details we're gonna resculpt once we pose it. Like if I put the arm on, like, you know, reaching to the front, the deltoid's gonna behave differently. It's gonna be more bumpy on this side, maybe flatter here. If I, for example, bend the arm, the bicep's gonna be a little more, you know, round and bumpy, and the tricep's gonna be flat. So there's a lot of things, like for example, if I bend this knee right there and make like sort of a contrapposto, I'm gonna have to change like tilt of the pelvis, tilt of the rib cage and whatnot. And most of the details are gonna pass through. Like most of the skewing is not gonna be that hard to change, because the rig does that for us. But a lot of those other details are gonna have to be re-sculpted, like muscle sort of information, like the deltoid and the biceps, and maybe like this tendons right here, depending on the pose of the arm, of the hand. So yeah, there's a lot of things here, especially in the legs and the arms, that are gonna change due to the pose. So what I'm aiming for is having like the major contour and profile of the anatomy and of the figure as a whole. and then I'm gonna go and maybe start off by doing the remesh, and once I have like the remesh with all the subdivision levels, I'm going to transfer this detail into that remesh, that Z remesher, and then I'm going to start doing like the clothing and whatnot. And the clothing, I'm thinking about like the corpette and the neck thing that she has first, and then I'm gonna go for the cloth itself, like the skirt and this part here with the arm pads and whatnot. So yeah, technically I wouldn't need any more than this if I was going to sculpt it like with the clothes, but since I want to have like the practice as well, like I just want to practice anatomy and sculpture and whatnot, I'm using this as an excuse in a sense. So yeah, but yeah, that was basically it. So next time we're gonna go through that. We're gonna rework some of the things. I'm gonna try to rework this off stream, and then we're gonna pose it. We're gonna pose it. We're gonna remesh it and pose it, and then just see if we can sort of deform this correctly in order to make our before we pose, you know, we could do like the armor and stuff, but then when we pose it, we're gonna see if there's deformations and weird stretching happening with each of the poses in this layers tab right here. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it, because I have to go to dinner right now. So the stream's ending. It was a very slow, very sort of methodical stream, but I hope you guys just enjoyed watching me work as I stream, because that's majorly the point of this, is me getting some studio time for myself and then just chatting with you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys are hyped for Diablo 4, which is, this is like the main villain from Diablo 4. Oh, thank you. You enjoyed it and learned a lot. Thank you. Yeah, I hope this is not supposed to be like classes and whatnot, but I hope you guys do learn some things, and I'm willing to learn from you guys as well, of course, because I'm not necessarily like any legend on ZBrush. Most people that I watch on YouTube and most people that I really follow, like on ArtStation and whatnot, they're really like gods of ZBrush compared to me. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed like the mood set by the lighting here. I hope you guys enjoyed the drawing of Lilith right here, and see you next time. So next time we're gonna have this, and also don't forget, hit that follow button if you're watching and you're not following us right now. Also, I have a YouTube channel called Magnetic Studios, actually. Magnetic Studios, and just go to the link on my bio about and just subscribe to the channel and hit the ring button, because anytime soon I'm gonna release a couple of tutorials, one in drawing and one in 3D, about the introduction to the interface and whatnot. It's going to be a start of a long series of tutorials that I'm planning on doing, and the drawing streams are coming soon. I'm waiting for some material, like I'm waiting for a boom arm for my camera, and I'm waiting for another camera, like a face cam, in order to have a face cam and a camera pointed at the drawing. I'm going to draw here. I'm going to have sessions in drawing, like where I draw from reference, like nude models and whatnot, and portraits, and I'm drawing them in real time and chatting with you guys, like doing exercises, gesture drawing, figure drawing and whatnot. And I'm gonna do the same thing with ZBrush, probably, like do gesture sculpture, like I was doing it with the models from life. Instead of being a model, it has to be photographs, because we are in confinement, in quarantine here in Portugal. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the follows. Also, from today, I think maybe there's a few milestones left to complete. Maybe there's the day part. Maybe the next stream is going to be like on Monday or whatnot, because I never streamed on Monday. And I think I have to have like the 7-day stream and the 7 different days. But other than that, I'm barely an affiliate, which is awesome, right? Which is awesome, because I can have you guys support me to keep doing the work that I do, keep doing some fan art, keep doing like playing games with you guys, and just having studio time here with our sculptures and our 3D models, our games and whatnot. 3D game art maybe this week will not happen. This was the replacement of that. But next time maybe I'll keep working on that project as well with you guys, like that diorama with the pirates, you know. Game reviews, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like whenever I'm doing a gaming session with you guys here, it's going to be more, you know, from the perspective of a 3D artist, you know, not necessarily just me playing like you see on Twitch normally. With nothing wrong with that, you know, but it's not gonna be like that. It's gonna be more around the me playing and having my critique, and normally my critique is more technical because, you know, I think like that. And yeah. Yeah, like my game, ha ha ha, free promotion. Okay, sure. Alright guys, so see you later. I'm gonna have to go to dinner. I hope you guys stick around my channel because we're gonna have some many fun moments in the future. There's a lot of things I have planned for you guys. I have a lot of projects in the works for you. Patreon, YouTube, tutorials, gameplay reviews, gameplay long plays, and, you know, like gameplay walkthroughs and whatnot. So game art, 3D, and traditional art, that's all here on Twitch, not on YouTube. YouTube is technical. Here it's everything, like me playing and critiquing and doing like 3D modeling and stuff. So thank you guys so much, and I hope you see you guys soon on the next stream. Next stream is going to be on the weekends, going to be some gaming, so stick around, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Give it a follow if you haven't. See you guys later.